So yeah, here we are back with Cosmic Exploration. We're going to be doing the Epilogue quest here for Cosmic Exploration at the end of Oxesia here. His gift, his way. All right. Searching Way seems concerned about whatever concerns Namingway. How concerning. Greetings, Kelwyn. Lest you fret, our analysis of Grandma Laurel continues apace. The big tree that's out here. The central hub for the race of this planet. But perhaps you could handle something else for me? It's Namingway. He's decided to take up an exploration initiative of his own. I can tell he needs help. Alas, as overseer here, I'm in no position to lend a paw, which is why I'm volunteering yours. You do have paws, don't you? No? Hands, technically. I expect Namingway is still around here somewhere. He'll explain everything. All right. Yeah, that big tree over there, Grandma Laurel. Namingway. Talking to some of the Loporits. Just waiting for that the music to be done with there. The who's going ham. All right. Fortuitous timing, Kelwyn. As I was just telling my associates, a mission of utmost import awaits me on Atheris. For you see, that remains unresolved the matter of the survey pod abandoned in the aftermath of my crash landing. I don't remember this. The survey pod? At the time, there was no hope of repairing or even dismantling it. My only option was to conceal the wreckage under loose earth and plant matter. Oh, right, so Namingway initially was sent down from the moon by the Loporits a while back before everything happened, and they crash landed onto Atheris. They were sent on a scouting mission to gather information about Atheris in preparations long before the what was gonna be their mission of the Great Exodus. Namingway, having crashed, was forced to basically wander around and observe the people of Atheris, but didn't have a way back to the moon until the events of Endwalker. Yeah, Namingway crash landed on Atheris way back. Now that I've reunited with my kin, however, it's time I took responsibility for my mess. Loporit technology ought not to be left unattended. It is Ancients level technology. That having been said, the memory of precisely where I buried it is... Well, it was 100 years ago. Oh, is it exactly 100 years? Okay, I wasn't sure how long ago. I knew it was a long time scale, but okay, exactly 100 years. Nevertheless, I propose to have a look around the area and consult with the locals as necessary. Would you care to accompany me? Stoic nod, stoic nod. Oh, wonderful. Then let us meet at the peaks of Giribania. I seem to recall a quarrying town by the name of Aragana somewhere in the vicinity. Yes, I shall await you there. This would have been before the Garlean invasion? Yep, before the Garlean invasion. All right. To Giribania, then. Let me see. Let's use our Twin Adders Aetheryte ticket. And then, let's see, Giribania, Alagana. And it sure is convenient that everything which happens in Giribania happens in this small stretch of land. Shh. The magic of video games. With 2 castles and 2 villages. Well, yeah, well, there's this area, and then there's also the, this area, too. And then there's also the, you know, the locks. So we have a pretty wide swath of Girabania. So it's not like this is a tiny area per se. It's not like we're missing big chunks of Girabania necessarily. I'm sure there's other zones and stuff like that or whatever have you. There's a couple of places in Eorzea that we have sort of yet to go to. So like, man, this isn't really very specific, but like in Thanalan, there was the area over here that we went to as part of the dungeon. The one that was in the Shadowbringers post patches. We flew over it when we were fighting back against the towers and stuff like that. I forget, what was that dungeon called? Hold on, this is what the duty finder is for. Pagalthon. So that was an area that that sort of belongs, or that the nomadic Amalja was over, and it was past an area of Thanalan, past mountains that we never really been to, but it was around here somewhere, and so we got to see that in a dungeon, Pagalthon. There's these islands over here. I think there's some of the mountains like to the north, like these islands over here. I think are volcanic. Or like these mountains and maybe these islands volcanic. So some volcanoes or something around here. That's where the Hellsguard Rogadin are from, that we haven't been to yet. So there's some of the mountains over here. Like I said, these islands here. There's a couple of like little pockets that we haven't been to yet in Eorzea, but video games is messing with the scale. Yeah, 100%. Like, it's implied that, you know, the world is big, but it's mostly like the world is encompassed in these zones, you know? And unless they make a small instance, you know, they're never going to place something like, oh, this happened in this small other area. To be fair, I feel like Girabania feels small just because, like, they didn't do a lot with Girabania. Send me to FF Canada? Ooh, wide swaths of land. Maybe we'll get, you know, if it's kind of like northern areas or whatever, maybe we'll get a little bit of that kind of like landscape or vibes come Evercold. It's not quite the same, but, you know, it'll be close. Yeah, they really did nothing. Like, it was like we got a little bit in the fringes, and then we were off to the Far East, and it was all about the Far East. And the Far East, beautiful, glorious. Love everything that happens in the Far East. It's a good time. We get a lot from there, and then we come back here, and it's just like straight to Xenos, and, you know, that's it. We don't really get more, like, the initial opening of the quest, we get a little bit of Girabania, but a lot of this other areas, like, they don't really do a lot with it, which is a bit of a shame, because this is like the homeland of the monks, and we don't really get like, we get a little bit in the monk quest line, but only like a little bit. There's this really cool area over here that's got like a tree growing out of the ruins, and there's like water over there. It'll be like, woo, that would have been fun if like there was a little side quest that took you over there. Like, one side quest takes you out there because it's a fly only zone or whatever. One side quest takes you out there, and it's like, wow, you found somebody's body. Okay, thanks, bye. You know, that's about it. You know, there's a lot of like holy sites that they have scattered around of ruins that's related to monks. We get really none of that. There was a lot of lore here that could have been, that we could have had. A lot of world building that, you know, it lacked. Like, there's the Kakirin, the specific like Girabanian Kakirin, the fluffy Kakirin that are different from the regular Kakirin. We get like one little side quest that has one of these guys, and then that's about it. Like, one little side quest where it's just like, hi, can you help me? Can you walk me over here real quick? Wow, thanks. And then that's it. That's it. We don't get any lore about these guys at all. But look at them. Obviously, these guys are the more evil ones, but the unevil ones, which are part of like the Girabanian Council or whatever, they're like they're way more colorful. Like, they got the fluffy ears and everything. I love the fluffy Girabanian Kakirin. We get nothing about them. Girabanian Kakirin that eat people. Maybe these guys, I don't know. But, you know, there's this structure that we learned was made by in the past after one of the calamities. Maybe it was the Calamity of Water, where this structure was specifically made as like a magical structure that somehow helped rebalance the ether. You know, like, we got nothing in this in terms of the quest lines. Absolutely nothing. You know, there's so much rich lore and world building here, and it's just absolutely squandered. Which is why, like, I think Final Fantasy does its best work when it has more of a focus. And things are, when they split their focus, it loses a little bit. Like in Stormblood, a little bit in Dawntrail. But you know, when they have like, okay, in Heaven's Ward, like this is Ishgard. In Shadowbringers, this is Norvrant. You know, like that's always, I feel like you get more of the area. To be fair, like, I mean, Ishgard, they could have done a lot more world building stuff with, like, the dragons feel very one-note enemies, besides Vidofnir. You know, there's no, like, until, like, the Dragoon class storyline, there's no, like, you don't really get any individualism from Nidhogg's brood of dragons, or anything like that, so it feels like, you know, they could have done more. They feel like I feel like the dragons could have, the lore could have been done a bit better. Anyway, hold on, I'm just flying around yapping. I'm ranting. Also, Delicately said, well, Evercold seems to be Norse seems, so I guess we're going to FF Finland. Yeah, something like that. Something like that for sure. Stormblade really should have been 2 different expansions. I completely concur. But I understand why they were going for the 2 of them, but it feels like to really make both shine, it would have been nice to have both as individual expansions, because also like all of Gearbania feels just like mountains, more mountains. It's all a wasteland. You know, like there could have been more, but maybe they feared that they couldn't do an entire expansion in Gearbania, but that's why they wanted to bring in the Far East. But I think the Far East would have been great on its own. But, you know, they did what they did, and, you know, it advanced the story in a way that was helpful, so, you know, it can be difficult. Dawntrail should have probably been 2 different expansions. Yeah, I think Dawntrail did suffer a little bit from the split focus. But I understand, once again, like the interplay they were going with, it just meant that because they did split the focus a little bit, some parts felt a bit rushed. But yeah, like I said, I think they do their best work when they have a single focus of telling the story of like one specific area, instead of going into splitting the focus. But, you know, I can understand how they got to in both areas, and it's not like Stormblood or Dawntrail are like they have great moments. It's just some parts feel more rushed, and some parts feel like they deserved more time. Is all. All right, Namingway. But like I said, even in like Heaven's Ward, there's like there's stuff that they could have been improved on as well. Shadowbringers is generally well beloved, and it felt like such a small area as well. Anywho, Namingway. At last, here we are in Alagana. This is Alagana, yes? The town appears rather unpeopled. Has something happened in the time since the Autumn War? Oh, yes, okay. So the Autumn War was the conflict between Gearbania and Gridania. That happened a while ago, and why Gearbania was not really part of the Eorzean alliance. And then Garlemald invaded. Yeah, Gridania assisted by the entirety of the rest of the alliance, yes, to fight back against Gearbania forces. Back then, the bustling crowds of refugees and mercenaries posed a dire challenge in my efforts to avoid detection, I tell you. So he was there during the time of the Autumn War. Alas, thwarted by the passage of time, I'd hoped the familiar sights would jog my memory. But perhaps if I simply retrace the events... After my crash landing, I was discovered by a band of young children who called me a talking rabbit. Oh, that's right. They helped me conceal the survey pod. But of course, they would be well over 100 years old by now. were we to assume they yet live? I realize the chances are slim, considering all the shit that's gone down in Gearbania, yeah. But let us nevertheless speak with the townsfolk. Mayhap someone has stumbled upon the wreckage in my absence. If you should hear anything noteworthy in the course of your questioning, give me a shout. Alright, so there's only, like, I guess the mayor of this place that could be maybe that old, methinks. But, I don't know. Alright, hold on. Veteran stonecutter. Well, that long-eared fellow with you is a lopper, you say? Oh, good. Thought it was damn Kikirin. Oh, but some of the Kikirin aren't that bad. They're part of the Council of Gearbania. But it got me thinking. You ever hear our traditional quarrying song? It's a relic of the past now, but for the little ones, we sing a variant. From the moon, the rabbit falls, moon dust, mountain pile tall, or something such. You get the idea. And he wrote a lot of folks moved on to ply their trade in Allegheny after stone fell out of fashion. Might be as you could find your answers there. Alright, thank you, friend. Doubtless some of the few peddlers once hailed from Allegana. Okay. Apprehensive apprentice. Mysterious machine buried in the ground. No, ma'am. Don't know nothing about it, nor do I want to. Keep your mysterious business away from me. I'm a simple man just trying to get my job done. Don't drag me in any mess. My generation was raised to be wary of Magitech and all the Garlean shite. Fiddle with it or go anywhere near it and you'll be lucky if you're only trapped in irons. Can't deny some of us go scavenging just to keep food on the table, but if we found a stinking hunk of metal, we'd have the sense to leave it well alone. Okay, could be Magitech stuff, okay. Ishgard in the middle of the Dragon War came down from the smoke. Yeah, Ishgard briefly part of the Alliance before, yeah, they ended up not really being part of it anymore and going very insular because, yeah, they're dealing with the Dragon War in waves. So basically, like, Nidhogg would attack with his brood, then go to sleep, and so the war would be put on, like, you know, it'd be like off and on periods of the war. Alright. Resting Elder. They still came down and punched Alamiko in the face, huh? Something buried round these parts during the Autumn War. I'm afraid I can't help you there, dearie. Why, I'm 92 summers young. But even when I was a girl, Allegheny still held on to the wartime vigor, right up until the Empire came stomping in. What was it, 20 years ago now? Something like that. Time bubble. A lot of land's been gathering dust since then. So if you mean to tell me something's been buried here for the past century, well, I can believe it. Ha ha ha! Not much digging to be done out here, so I reckon whatever you buried stayed where you left it. Where did you leave it anyhow, out of curiosity? Not that me, 92 years young, would go out looking for it or whatever to unbury it, you know? Don't mind me. Alright, Namingway. After 100 years of covert operations, it feels strange simply to walk up to people and start a conversation. Yeah, the Namingway was observing people from afar. But I digress. Have you heard aught that could put us on the trail? Yeah, maybe we can ask some people around Allegheny, but the elder here did mention it's probably been buried for a while. That wreckage is like to have been left untouched, bears well for us. And I heard tell of the children's song myself. Surely it can be no coincidence that the lyrics reference building a mountain with a rabbit from the moon. Yet it seems no one in town knows the specifics. Would that I had a survey drone to scan the surrounds, as I was told that they aren't designed to function on Etheris. Noted, noted. At any rate, rather than dig blindly, let us travel next to Alighieri and continue our inquiry. So sort of like, yeah, we can't use some of this cosmic exploration stuff from the moon because some of it just doesn't work on Atheris. Trust us. Not getting too complicated with it. Keep the lanes separate. Operates didn't make quadcopter drones. Alright, up all the way over to Alighieri. Now we could teleport there. And that's what the smart person would do. Or we could just fly there. Not that we are already flying and yapping as we flew over, flew over Girabania to begin with. All the Galilean technology. I also never really got like a quest that there was no side quest or anything like that that really talks about this ship either. For those who don't know, it's the ship that Nooncraft originally used to help people flee from the flood, the fifth Emerald Calamity. And then he went on after people started fighting. The people who ended up in the mountains started fighting amongst each other. He ended up leaving with like-minded souls and would eventually found Charlayan. Is sort of the lore of the ship. But what I really want to know about was why is there a couple little dog statues? That's what I want to know about. Look at these little guys. I think you climb up there or around there once for like was part of the main story, and then you and Lise have a nice heart-to-heart, but friend-shaped, exactly. Say what you want about Nooncraft or whatever, but he knows how to make friend-shaped things. All right, okay, here we go. Namingway. Oh, Alighieri, I'd hoped I would recognize you. I see now the terrible reach of the Galilean invasion. Well, where shall we start? Oh, we're cutscening. That striking scarlet garb. Could you be the Namingway? Oh, is this like you know there is a minion that has a Namingway. That's from myths that people have about a rabbit from the moon. So some people did catch eye of Namingway. I beg your pardon. You know my name, sir. Adam Moore. Why, I've known you all my life. Isn't that right, my friend? What? Oh, it is. It's the minion. I'm Sewell. Humble peddler of handicrafts like this mammoth. Time-consuming as it is to produce, I rarely carry more than one, but it always finds a buyer. Hell yeah, the mammoth's canon. I modeled it on the talking rabbit described in a nursery song by my grandparents. Described in a nursery song my grandparents used to sing to me. Namingway the Red, they called him. Okay. Haragana's children's song. Might you recall the lyrics? Of course. Goes a little something like this. From the moon the rabbit falls. In youth he doth confide. Sticks and stardust piled tall. His secret there to hide. Sticks and stardust, eh? The children build a mountain for the moon rabbit, and in return he gives them each a nickname and a footnote in his traveling log. Namingway. So great was my fondness for the fable that when I took up the merchant's mantle, I collaborated with local artisans to craft these themed mammoths. Come to think of it, I do believe I encountered one of these during my travels, but I dismissed its resemblance as mere coincidence. How could you? You look exactly the same. Can you believe I have my very own merchandise? Hell yeah, Namingway. My good sir, after 100 years away, I am come to retrieve the vessel I crash-landed and subsequently buried somewhere in the peaks. At the time, I was aided by a group of young children. Could your grandparents have been among them? Is there anything more you can tell us? Anything at all? This guy must be like fairy tale come to life. Well, I'm a little shaky on the lyrics for the second verse, but let's see. Cross the washing water deep, through Castle Gate beyond. Castle Gate beyond. Interesting. The locks? Alone the Moondust Mountain sleeps, its hearth and home a pond. Okay, in a pond? Perhaps something there could be of use to you? Thanks, guy. Why, the second verse would appear to describe a specific location. Oh, this may be our most promising lead yet. Right then, Kerwin, let us return to Atacana and see what we can make of these clues. Okay, maybe it's not in the box. Is it buried in a mountain of salt, mayhaps? Maybe. Hold on a moment, Namingway. To you, I may be a stranger, but to me, you're a dear old friend of the family. Let me aid you as the elders once did. Oh, you are too kind, Swole. I dare say we couldn't ask for a better guide. Hell yeah, the fable continues. Let me see, hold on, somewhere here. Definitely somewhere. You can probably search it. Hold on. I don't think it's called Namingway, though. Is it? Naming? Oh, it is called Namingway. Never mind. We're good. Well, it is whispered that this cheerful vagrant is the sole surviving member of a tribe hailing from none other than the moon. Most see Namingway for who he is, a queer fellow with a penchant for giving all he meets absurd nicknames and jotting them down in a mysterious journal. And this was given. This was for I think I'm buying Eorzean Encyclopedia 1. That's why all of the lore nerds, when we saw the preview for Cosmic Explorations and there was a Lopper in red, we're like, Namingway! Alright, let's teleport back. We don't have to do the whole zone flight again. Might as well. Save us some time. Forward and back, and then forward and back. Alright, Swole. After peddling wares in Algeria for so long, my hometown feels almost foreign in its tranquility, and yet no less welcoming. Namingway? And here we are at the river. Now what? Across the washing water deep, through Castle Gate beyond. Does this count as a castle gate? Is it just the arch? Our first clue directs us here to the Slow Wash. If we suppose the castle to be the Castrum ruins, then might that rock formation be the gate? Well, I mean, if it was before the Garlean time, then I don't know if there would be the Castrum ruins. I trust your instincts, my good fellow. Let us seek our Moondust Mountain on the other side. Charge. This is the castle gate. Mayhap, may chance. Up just pile of sticks. We're just looking. The mound of earth is riddled with twigs and rock fragments. Nothing of value appears to be buried here. Like you said, naturally you get to To crone kill, you had to go to Siren and see fighter, call it out and shout. Oh, but you got it? Nice. Alright, here we go. Hold on. You root around in the pile of loose dirt and jagged metal, but finally broken Garland weaponry. Okay, nope. Just broken Garland weaponry. I guess we could have looked visually for this, because, yeah, look at this. That's definitely Loporrit-like. I was expecting more of a, considering how long that second lyric was, I was expecting, the second verse of the song, I was expecting a little bit more. I guess this is the pond. That's the home for it, then. When you clear away the debris, you espy a shape distinctly Loporrit in origin. You decide to summon the others. Wow, this was not really very subtle, but I guess a lot of people thought it was Garland stuff. But yeah, not very subtle here. Have we located it at long last? Stoke nod, stoke nod. Actually, surprising is 100 years is not more buried. Whatever it is, it's buried deep. What an interesting digging sound. There it is. My survey pod. Oh, a happy day. Even after a century, it's still here. Well, all that remains is to arrange for its excavation and transportation back to the moon. So the nursery song was a map all along. I'll be damned. And frankly, honored beyond words to have had a hand in its discovery. Likewise, my 100-year mission may well have ended in failure, were it not for the kind-hearted souls such as you and your forebears. Not to mention dear Kelvin, of course. Oh dear. Little wonder I thought mankind was far too small, given my first encounter on Theris was with children. I see. Thought they were adults. I mean, technically they are Lalafell height. I mean, they would be Lalafell height. Still be small in your eyes then, Namingway, Loporrit sized. "100 years on Theris, you say? Doubtless you've been everywhere worth going. How far have you been, Namingway? 'Tis a feat of which any merchant would aspire." I'm afraid I must disappoint you. As mentioned, I was restricted to the shadows in the interest of evading public notice. Never have I tasted tacos in Tyrol or scoured the South Sea Isles. And there's no telling how many more stars are in want of exploration. Still so much to see. Many discovery is yet to be named and proclaimed, and I shall pursue each and every one to the ends of the universe. The ends of the universe. Well, I can but pray we meet again along the way. Fare thee well, Namingway. To the ends of the world and back. Let our paths cross again along the way. I can transmit these coordinates to my associates at a later time. For now, we must needs report back to Searching Way. After that, I suppose I shall ruminate upon my next steps. Alright, just leave this here, I guess. Thunk, stay put, I suppose. Alright, boy howdy, back Toxesia. For our little, for this little epilogue quest, I wasn't expecting to end up in Gearbania. When I saw the little preview image, I thought that was gonna be, I thought we were going back to Oasis, like we were gonna do a backtrack. Of how far we've gone along the way, but nope, that was that wasteland, not an extra planetary wasteland, a familiar at-home wasteland. Yeah, Gearbania, hell of a backtrack. I like when they use the old zones, though, when appropriate. It's always nice to go back and revisit and stuff. It's a shame we didn't get to talk to characters we knew, though. But I like Sewell. He's an okay guy. Oh, my goodness gracious. We're about to have a red alert. Quickly, Namingway. Alright, searching way. And so my two dear friends return triumphant in their mission. Very good, very good. When I invited you to accompany me, I failed to anticipate the extent of the ordeal in store for us. You've helped me put much at rest, Kelwyn. But what a story! A lost survey pod uncovered after a century, unearthed alongside the descendant of the child who helped bury him in the first place. Yep, quite the tale. After we lost contact, I could only wonder what had happened. After lost contact, yep, Namingway. Really, I should have known our Namingway would make an impact on the locals. Ha ha ha. Oh, very clever, searching way. Hold on, increasing the BGM a little bit. Aren't I just? In all seriousness, I'll arrange to have the Cenos Ardorum cohort collect the wreckage from Alagana in short order. Wonderful. Their assistance is greatly appreciated. In fact, I shall make a note to thank each of them personally. Returning to the burrow, joining the initiative, maybe meeting a civilization from another star. The journey has been long and fruitful. For much of it, I've been asking myself, what's in a name, truly? Oh, we're getting deep with it. Yeah, back in Oasis, you know, Namingway was talking about how, you know, like, we'll never know what the original name was for Oasis. But that, you know, is much the same way with Aetheris, and that, you know, the planet was called Aetheris. That name was lost for a while, and for a long time it was called Hydaelyn. And each name has no less important meaning. Flowers, trees, topological features, all of them beautiful, just as they are. 'Tis we, not they, who have need of such labels. Well, yeah, in this sort of sense, but in terms of, like, naming things to refer to things, like living things, I mean, it's nice to have a name. In the past, I spoke of cognitive links and other scholarly concepts, but I've come to believe that the true significance of names is both simpler and more profound. Oh, I think the red alert has started. This is very nice, though, but the red alert, this is definitely the red alert. A name is a moment in time, a perspective, a feeling, or a feeling. Reflective of the person who named it. Or their purpose. A name is how we say, this is how I see the world, and I want to share it with you. Hell yeah, a name gives importance to something. And like it is a perspective of the time. How things are named. What meaning is given to certain things. In a way, it's a gift. Hell yeah. And I, Namingway, was given the greatest gift of all. Oh, that's so cute. A name is a gift. It's like when your parents give you a name, it's supposed to be usually like, you know, sometimes it's just like whatever they like at the time, but it's usually, you know, they're filled with the hopes for the future of the kid. Alright, Namingway. One that's served me well as part of the Cosmic Exploration Initiative, especially. I hope it's not presumptuous to say that I'm quite proud of the work I've done. Hardly. The crews embrace your every appellation with enthusiasm, you realize. Yeah, there's some NPCs that talk about, hey, did you hear Namingway has given a new name to things? Indeed. What a marvelous experience it's been. You've both made my dream come true. I've liked all the names for the different planets based on like the Greek mythology stuff. Faina, Oasis, Oxysia. I think you'll find the feeling is rather mutual. You truly breathe life into these stars, or how in the world did you manage it all? Naming everything? No, I'll say the first one. You truly breathe life into these stars as part of our footprint of being there. Such kind words. Though Century of the Solitude has taught me much. I relish the company of like-minded compatriots who appreciate nuanced nomenclature. Hell yeah, I always like when naming things when there's the meaning behind it is taken into consideration. I'm with Namingway. Naming stuff's fun. At any rate, my time at the initiative is far from over. I've only just reunited with my kin after all. Ere long, however, I suspect I will be amenable to a new journey. Perhaps alone, or perhaps accompanied by an esteemed peer. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You wouldn't say no to a new adventure, would you, Kelwin? Oh, me? I'm an esteemed peer. Never mind, I thought that was a hint towards searching way. Hell yeah! We're always game for a new adventure. Fist punch. Nice. Does look nice with the petals here from the red alert. Witness to the Stars achievement. Thank you so much for accompanying me all the way to Kiribania. My last lingering regret has been resolved, and I learned I've got my own line of merchandise. Yep, right here. In all seriousness, I owe much more. Never would I have found my way back to the burrow had you not stopped on the street that day in Old Charlayan. Eventually you would have. Namingway was just like, I heard Loports were here, and that's why he revealed himself, because it's like, finally I get a way back. Already do I find myself pining for new locales in need of names. But for now, I shall concentrate my efforts here at Searching Way's side. Searching Way? Oh, Kelwin, how can I ever thank you? The Cosmic Exploration Initiative truly couldn't have come this far without the many contributions of artisans like you. Having achieved our greatest ambition and tied up some loose ends on Aetheris, I dare say we've earned a spot of peace and quiet. Our journey is far from over, and may one day take us to a new star. But until then, we'll study every ilm of Oxysia to ensure its story is preserved. Yeah, I really think they could, I really, hold on. I just want to see if I've done these missions before, if I should be rushing or not. Oh yeah, I've done these missions before. We'll do some of the mining missions here in a hot minute. Oh, maybe the fishing missions though. I do need some stuff for fishing. Fishing's the next one. I've been trying to keep up with these levels here. I'm still in the Oasis levels, but we need some more love on fishing, so maybe we'll do that. But yeah, I just want to say that I do hope that they, like, I feel like they could continue cosmic exploration going forward. Like, it would be... It's always interesting maybe to do something new, but considering the venue for this is the fucking entire galaxy, I mean, there's no limits. There's no limits. So if they wanted to continue doing the crafting and gathering stuff with cosmic exploration as the venue, you know, like, I'm sure people wouldn't mind it. You can always introduce new things going forward in the next wave. As long as maybe they added some diversity to some of the rewards and it's not like high tech and whatever have you. But we'll see what they want to do going forward. But yeah, that was the last epilogue quest here for cosmic exploration. And we'll see whatever they want to do for the crafting and gatherers come, you know, come Evercold.